And there is a news alert on a possible COVID treatment, this time with some bad news. Meg Terrell joins us with details on that. Hey, Meg.
Hey, Becky, this is another one of these COVID antiviral drugs that's been in development, which would compete potentially with Merck's molnupiravir. But some disappointing news from a company called Atea this morning, which is partnered with Roche on this drug. And that's sending shares down dramatically in the pre-market. They were halted for a short period of time. Now they're down 75%. This is a company with about a $3.5 billion market cap before this move this morning. Now, here's what happened. They were testing a COVID antiviral drug, similar in its mechanism, at least, to Merck's molnupiravir. And they found in this phase 2 trial, it missed its primary goal of reducing the SARS-CoV-2 virus versus placebo in the overall study population. Now, the company noted they enrolled essentially all comers, and they said 2/3 of the people in this study were essentially young, healthy people without high-risk conditions for progressing to severe COVID. They said among high-risk patients, they did see a reduction versus placebo in the virus with people who got the drug. As a result of this, they're pushing their expected phase 3 results back to the second half of 2022. They're going to use these results to sort of retool the plans for that trial. So you can see that Merck this morning is actually rising. It's up 3% in the pre-market. Because they've got molnupiravir, which showed to work in a phase 3 trial. Notably, Merck enrolled only high-risk patients in that trial, and they didn't include anybody who was vaccinated, whereas Atea says they did have vaccinated people in their study. And so we're going to be parsing out the implications of this overall for the COVID antiviral space, but it's a setback, obviously, for Atea and its partner Roche. Guys?
Meg, that's so interesting. So this was a very similar drug, but the test that they set up was different. The trial they set up was different, and maybe not able to leap the hurdles because you were mixing it up with people who weren't going to have a bad reaction from COVID anyway. It just speaks volumes about what you have to do to get a drug approved by the FDA, to get something out there. This is going to set them back, but it's not necessarily that the drug doesn't work in the targeted population, right?
Yeah, it's really unclear right now. I mean, these drugs are different. And one of the things that Atea really emphasized here is the safety profile of this drug. It's not mutagenic, which is something that has been a concern around Merck's drug for potential birth defects or cancer risk. And of course, Merck has looked at this very carefully and says the short duration of treatment makes it think that those are not high risks for this drug. That will all be adjudicated through the FDA approval process, which will happen in late November. But right now, this study design did not work for Atea and Roche. And Merck, notably, had already narrowed its study design only to high-risk patients. So it had seen that it was useful to do that.